Hey everybody and welcome back. If you're just getting here, this is Tattoo Collectables and I'm your host Eric. Today on the show we got a couple different things we're going to do today. We've got the part 2 of the Tommy Spaulding interview. Y'all are going to want to see this. It's pretty awesome. And then we've got some really cool stuff in the mail. One from a new jewelry maker that we found here at the show, and we love her. So stick around and check that out. What's in the mail? Okay, everybody. Announcer Eric just informed me that if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, but you're digging these videos, please subscribe. It's a little thing to you, it's a big thing to us, and you'll be in for the 1,000 subscriber video. Now, the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. This little package here is, where is this from? It is from, it doesn't say where it's from on here, so I'm not sure. We're just gonna stick the old Mr. Domo Tennessee fighting knife in here, and I believe what is in here doesn't even belong to us. It belongs to one of you. Oh yeah. Okay, so for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, there is a George Burchett card right here. Now, this is from the 1938 Churchman in Town Tonight set, and what you have with the rest of this is the entire set of all these cards. So I am going to include this very one, and as I'm looking at them, they're all in super mint condition. They're real nice, especially the Burchett. You've got no dinged corners or anything like that. And then you get all the rest of these groovy little cards with them. We've got several sets here, and I love them. I think they're neat. They're a slice of the past. They are the black backs, which means they're the 1938. The purple backs are the 1999s. So you'll be getting this 1938 set of In Town Tonight cards in the prize package. This is one of the prizes officially. Here in the next couple of weeks, we are going to show you everything that we're giving away on that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So stick around for that. It's going to be real neat. Now, this next one, okay? So one of my guys was like, "Hey, you need to go check out this this new lady doing jewelry on Insta." And her name is Rebecca Guignard, and there's all of her info right there. It's Bijou Guignard. I hope I'm not mispronouncing this, Rebecca. Hashtag Bijou Guignard. I will get you a great picture of this. Hopefully it is just popping up along the bottom as I'm speaking. This is the card that came with it. Now, when I saw these, I was like, I've got to have me one of those. So I get on her website, or on her Instagram, and she had these little Mike Pike teacup pendants. And this one's got fuzz all over it. There we go. We got to defuzz it before we can show it to you. But that is it. What do you think of that? And it's highly detailed. I'll get you some really good pictures. Check these out. These are the pictures of it. I got one in silver. I got one in bronze. And they're really highly detailed little pieces of art. They look like Mike Pike teacups, which I love even more. I love Mike Pike. So, when I got on line about this and talked to her about it, and I asked her how much they were, and I think they were $125, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely have to have one of those for the show, just to show it off. And then I realized it was $125 Canadian, so I was like, go ahead and send me two. I got one in silver, one in bronze. Now this is the little, she puts some of them on these little doohickey hangers here, so you can like hang it from a necklace or whatever. And then I got the bronze one, she sends it as a pin, so you can like pin it on a jacket or what have you. These are great. Go over and check her out. You will not be disappointed in the work that she's doing. she's a tattoo artist and a former jewelry maker. Looks more like a current jewelry maker to me, Rebecca. And so she's making all kinds of stuff that pretty much just go with our industry. So do yourself a favor, go over and check her out. She's at Bijou Guinard on Insta. Here's her info, and I'll put her info in the description as well. So if you missed it in the episode, you'll get it in the description. Now, the longer I live, the more I realize books are pretty good value. And so I've been getting a bunch of books in the mail. This is one of them. Now this one is called Tattoo Soup. It's a compendium of the globe's most unique tattoos, is what it says. And as I was flipping through this, and it's a super neat book. I'll get you some way better pictures than me just flipping through it here. But as I'm flipping through it, I realized that this book, all of these came off of the internet, and because they give them credit in the back there of who did what. Super neat idea. It's a snapshot of today, and as far as what we're doing in the industry. Now, a lot of you will look at this book and you'll think, big whoop. You know, there's a bunch of pictures or whatever that you could get on the internet. And that's true enough. 50 years from now, when those pictures on the internet have degraded or whatever they do on the internet when they're not around anymore, you'll still have this book to go back to and look at the era that we're in right now. And I think it's a great snapshot. Now this is by, who is this by? Let's see if I can find a publisher on it. All the best. Phil Kyle, it looks like. From Independent Music Press. This is an awesome book. If you see it out there, definitely pick it up. I got it super cheap. And I love it. So definitely give that book a look. Now, this big boy here, Burt Crackett, did a show. I'm not even sure where he did the show. I'm assuming it was in New York City or somewhere very near. But they did a show where they did a pop-up shop, like a pop-up tattoo shop. And it was mainly, they were showing off Flash. It was a way to set up a, you always want to look in the package. It was a way to set up a display of Tattoo Flash as it would have been, you know, in a shop. But this is hilarious. The shop was set up on a front porch. That's how it looked. It looked like it was set up on somebody's front porch. But it wasn't. It was inside. Now, I am going to crack this up. This is brand new. I haven't gotten to look at this at all yet. I wanted a true reaction for the camera. And I'll tell you, sometimes it kills me not to open stuff. Like that Bijou jewelry, I had to open that. I had to see it. All right. Let's get this government plastic off of here. Now, I will, of course, get you better. Oh, wow. I'll get you a better picture. Now, this just fell out of the middle of it. This is a tiny little, it's a Magic Touch. It looks like the notes that they put together to put the book together. How neat is that? The book came with that. And then this is just a compendium of pictures of them building it and hanging the stuff in the gallery. Man, it's super awesome. And then in the back, you got a ton of great big Flash. Now, I got this book on eBay, as I do a bunch of stuff. This one was originally $100+ to get this. I think we found it online for $30. $30 is what we got this for. If you can get on eBay and get this book for $30, there's $200 worth of Flash in it. Get online, grab you one of these. They're awesome, and hopefully you get the little book that came with it. I think this is just, and I'll get you some better pictures of this too. This is just it looks like a handwritten notebook of just the plans for this book. Neat. Bert Crack, he always does some neat stuff. If you don't know who Mr. Crack is, get online and check him out. He's from Smith Street in New York City. All right, so that is what we had in the mail this week. I know it wasn't super short and sweet. It was a pretty decent bevy of mail this week. So now I'm going to turn you back over to announcer Eric, and he's got some stuff to tell you. I'll see you all next time. Okay, so that was a pretty good mail there, Mail Eric. So next, what we have for you this week is the continuing saga of our East Coast tour of all the tattoo supply places. Well, not all of them, but a few of them. This is the part 2 of the Tommy Spaulding interview. For those of you who saw last week's, thanks for watching. It means a whole lot to us here that you all do have the interest that you do. So check this out. I think you're going to enjoy this. This is part 2 of Tommy's interview.
Take your job, you never take the skill.
Now, here recently, Yellow Beak Press released a film of your dad tattooing Tom DeVita. Were you there when he tattooed Tom DeVita's back?
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything that we don't know about that day that you can remember?
Tom was a pretty tough guy.
Was he?
Yeah. Just to lay under that needle.
Oh, yeah. For that long? Now, did your dad do all the color on that too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but Tom was not a big man, but he was a great man. He really was. I visited him, and he visited me many times, and I give it to him. Just laying in the chair, boy, it takes a lot. Took a lot to lay under the gun. Yeah.
And how long did that one take, do you think?
I truly don't know. I want to say maybe 8-10 hours. I don't know, because Pop was very fast.
Yeah.
He was very fast, and it wasn't like he had to go back. He was not a man to go back. He said, get it in and keep going.
So not very many touch-ups with his work.
Yeah. He didn't believe in touch-ups.
Get it done the first time.
If you do a job twice, you'd make a nickel. I live by that one.
And that's a great motto to live by, really.
Yeah.
So, like, you were getting truckloads, from what I understand, of steel and stuff like that to make these machines.
Yeah. Yeah, he invested in some tractor trailers and stuff, and when you start getting tractor trailers full of supplies, you're gearing up. So and that's what he would do. He would buy in large quantities and get the right numbers and pursue it from there. So, and when we would sit in the shop building machines, it wouldn't be building 4 or 5 machines. You'd see a rack that had 50 machines hanging there, and they'd all be in different stages of assembly, and then you'd go through and you'd see them with coils in them, and the next thing you see is springs on them, and boom, they're done. You just boxes and boxes of them.
Now, were you cutting your own springs too?
Or
were
yes.
they manufactured?
No, we were cutting springs. He would actually get the spring material on a reel, and what we actually did was cut by hand, again with cutters.
That's a ton of work.
That's that being at the root. And we'd go through, and they had a jig that you'd slide them in, you'd cut them off, then you'd make a pile, then you'd go through and you'd hit them on a grinder wheel just to take that edge off them, and then you'd set them in another jig which had a punch, which would punch the hole for the screw in the back, boom, and then the other part was done by eye with the cuts for the edge on the spring itself.
So there was no pattern?
Not for that, no. That was eyeball. So, yeah.
You gotta be pretty precise to eyeball 50, 60 sets of frames a day, you know, or springs a day.
Springs?
You better hope you're turning out more than that. You're working for Pop.
He was a stickler, was he?
Well, you got to produce. That's what he said. You got to produce, son. So, you know, it was nice come home from school and go downstairs in our cellar that we started in and stand around in the water with electric going on. And, you know, you took your chances every day you went down, but you know, it was a job. Somebody had to do it. So, but Pop was a great teacher.
So how many people did you have at that point assembling machines? Was it just the family, or did y'all have people working for you?
Well, at that time there was just my family. You know, my sisters never worked down in the pit. My brother used to work down in there sometimes, and me, and my dad. My dad would be standing around with the boots on, and he'd be out there fooling with electrical stuff. He used to yell at me because I was very nervous as a child, and my hands would sweat profusely. So if I touched a frame or I touched stuff too much, it would rust like that. So I was kind of I used to carry rags with me all the time and dry my hands because I have rust equipment.
How many machines do you think you ended up making in the 70s then yourself? Like,
oh my God,
assembling. Do you even have a guess at how many there were?
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. But everyone was a little different. No machines are never the same. Oh, we used to run them on my hand. I had a huge callus on my hand that I used to test them on. So it'd be like kind of like a martial artist that had the big callus built on his hand, but mine was from tattooing my hands.
So you would put a setup in them with a needle.
Oh yeah.
And just run it on your hand, see if it ran right.
Correct.
And you were making 50, 60 a day doing that.
Probably machines. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd say probably if you were, depending on what stage you were in building the machine, I'd probably say 25, 30 running, but your hand gets sore.
Oh, I bet.
I had to stop because my hand gets sore. I had to do something else for a day or two, let my hand heal, you know?
Now, would you change anything if you could go back and change it?
Probably a little bit, maybe pay a little closer attention. Not that I didn't pay attention, but I always say there's always room for improvement, you know. And with Poppy, you know, he'd let you do your thing, and then if there was something that wasn't right, he'd come along and he'd tell you in his own way, you know, it probably ought to be this way, which is okay. That's what makes us who we are.
Now, was he harsh as a father? Was he strict?
In certain areas, yeah, he was, but that was only to my benefit, and I didn't realize a lot of times, like a lot of us, until we get older and say, you know, that wasn't really the way I should have did it. I should have did it the way he told me. And you know what? They say live and learn. And it's wonderful when you become the person that you are and you can realize that in life. Say, you know what? It was the right thing. I just wasn't ready to accept it.
Now, my mother always said, if this doesn't work out, you can always run away and join the circus.
What?
But you actually ran away and joined the circus.
Yeah, I did. We had the it was called the Altamont Fair. Was in town, and I was working in one of the flat joints. I don't know what it was. It was a softball throwing at these milk bottles. Anyway, I got in there and was doing that for a while that week, and the guy says to me, he says, well, do you want to go on the road? I says, yeah, why not?
Now, how old were you at this point?
Might have been
15.
15, 16. I don't remember. It was It was a long time ago. Anyway, I got on the road, and it just so happens on the road that was with Reinhofer.
Reinhofer.
Yeah, that's who it was. And I went off with them, and lo and behold, they had a tattooer on there. And the old tattooer name was Louis Gatto, world famous Louis Gatto, I should say. He was friends with my parents, because Louis had been up to the house, and I didn't realize Louis was on the show. And I was wandering around the Midway, and I happened to run into Louis. Hey, Louis. Hey, Tom. How you doing? So, long and behold, Louis was calling my father and my mother, saying, you know, he's with me. He's up in Glens Falls. Yeah, he's working on a glass pitch. Yeah. So, long and behold, I traveled with them for a while, and went there, and then I ended up leaving there and transferred to Dellin Travelers. The guy from owned probably half of the Midway owned a show down in the Carolinas, and that opened up a door for me to go down. But I didn't go down as a worker like that. I was a microphone guy. I was a barker. Oh, I was a good barker. I know. Yeah. I still remember the lines. Each and every dime. 1/10, 1 dime. 1/10 of a dollar. Anyway, but went down there and worked down there for a while, and then decided to come back, and came back, and ended up back at the shop, and started working, and decided I had a couple falling out with my dad, which sons and we do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what builds a stronger relationship.
Yep.
So I subsequently I went, I painted, and I worked on repairing pools and reupholstering furniture, and then went back to the shop and worked on tattooing and learned what I needed to learn, I thought, but you never stop learning.
Right.
So after a while, Pop always had this thing in his head that tattooing is a wonderful occupation, and the money is very good if you're very good at what you do. And I think that was always one of his fears of families leaving for the money and the career, because it was an opportunity to be your own person, and that's really what I wanted to be, my own person. I didn't want to be somebody else. And so I did leave, and I opened up a shop, and we became successful. My dad came down, opened my first shop up in Albany in 1970, 77. Yeah, and my dad, I got pictures with him coming in with his Stetson hat on and all his jewelry, and got pictures with him, and he bought this great big huge arrangement of flowers, and congratulations, and it was a very special moment that I'll never forget.
So he was super proud.
Oh, yeah. And as time went on, we had differences, but you know what? It was like I said to him that, our roads are great, but they don't always run parallel. So we'll always be together. So as the years went on, with my dad getting old, and as they say, you can't stay sharp all your life. We used to have long chats about the business, and he knew I was a tattooer, and that's what I was going to be. And I was not going to run the manufacturing company. And I have 2 nephews, and I said to him and a sister that worked for the plant, I said, you need to get things into position. I said, because you're not getting any younger, and you're definitely not getting any sharper. Of course, he got a chuckle out of that. Yeah. See, you could say those things and we could laugh about it, but you never say that younger years.
Right.
It would be taken the wrong way out of context. So we chatted and stuff, and I explained to him, I said, you need to do this now. You know, get things under motion, figure out what the plan is, have a plan for the future. This business has to thrive and keep going. And if you don't take care of it, it's not going to last. And he worked his whole life to put this business together from the ground up. You know, he had a lot of people along the way that helped him too. You know, and I always say, don't forget where you come from, because going back is really bad. So, anyway, my two nephews and my sister had ran the business, and then my sister decided to leave, and my two nephews have taken care of the business as best as they can. And it's been a hell of a career, and what a life. And now I'm retired and loving life even better, because I'm realizing all the things that are really important. You know, and that's family. Money's just money. You can't take it with you. It's nice to have. It's nice to share. But you know what? When it all comes down to the bottom line, it's about loving and appreciate the people you've got with you. That's all you've got in this world.
Definitely.
So what are you proudest of? Looking back over all of it, what would you say was your bright, shining, proudest moment?
I think probably the day we were coming back from having breakfast, because I used to take my parents to breakfast every Sunday for probably about 25 years. And I said, my mom and dad were there, and I says, you know, I just want to say to you, which I've never told you, I want to thank you for being great parents and bringing me up the way you did, because I wouldn't be who I am today. And that I love you. And that's the first time I've ever seen my father and mother really become emotional over such few words, but very meaningful words. And you know, you need to tell people that now. Tell them now, because they won't hear you later. So that was probably the most heartwarming moment of my life. You know, and I know it was for my dad, because I actually felt my dad in here, and here he became very emotional, which wasn't done for those reasons, but it brought the heart out. And sometimes you need to do that in order to see the light. Look at things in a proper perspective as you get older and say, you know what, that was a wonderful time, thank you. Because I've said that to many people, you know, that have had effects in my life. I said, thank you for being a part of my life. Can't get that back.
No.
So nobody can take those places for you. So, but it's wonderful to say thank you to people. People look at you different. You feel different about yourself, and it's a good feeling in here. It's in your heart.
Tom, I want to thank you today for taking the time with me and my subscribers and sharing what you did today. We really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And hopefully next year we'll be able to come back and do it all over again.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you much. All righty.
All right. So that just keeps getting better and better. I love spending time with him and Mary. Honestly, I can't wait to go back. All right, so that's all we had for you this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something this week that you didn't really know or had never seen. And until we see you next time, you know what I want you to do, me and my wiggly beard. We want you to stay safe. We want you to treat each other cool. And man, oh man, we want you to keep on collecting. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And please hit the subscribe button down below and check out these videos. We've worked real hard on these too, and I think if you enjoyed this one, you'll enjoy those too.